So collaborating, I'm never afraid to collaborate on posts. People are often very like, oh, this is mine. This is mine. But we're like, it's all of ours. Put it out in the world.
Right.
Collaborate with as many people as you possibly can.
Welcome to Think Like an Owner, the bottom line show where we speak with operators, leaders, and professionals about how they think once growth and income are no longer the constraint. The goal of the show is to bring real conversations to the forefront around the decisions that shape long-term outcomes, from capital and strategy to leadership, risk, and positioning. Today, we're joined by Paul Marynoski, founder of PM Creative Studio. Paul is a creative director and marketing strategist who works with growing businesses to build clear positioning, consistent content systems, and campaigns that actually drive results. He spent years working across different environments, from early stage businesses to corporate and public sector teams, helping organizations bring structure and clarity to how they show up and grow. In this episode, we're going to explore how thinking evolves as a business grows, especially how decisions start to shift around time, opportunity, and what you're really optimizing for in the long term. So, welcome, Paul, and thank you so much for being
Thank
here
you.
with us today. Can you give us a high level overview of who you are, what you do, and who you primarily serve?
I don't know if I could top that intro, but thank you. I own a marketing and media agency, and I started off personally as a videographer, photographer, but every business needs media for a specific reason. And a lot of businesses don't understand why they need it. And even though that's my passion, we transitioned from a media agency more so to a marketing agency because there's always a solution we're trying to solve with the media. So we help businesses come up with a strategy as to why they need it in the first place and how
That's
it's going to help
amazing.
them.
So, before when we had our conversation before we got cut off, I was mentioning that that was something that my team actually struggled with a bit at the beginning because for myself, I focus more on text-based media rather than video media,
Mhm.
and that's definitely something that we are starting to look into as the business grows. Um, so I know that there's something that's really important, especially in this space, in the growing space and in the day of social media. So I think a lot of people will find your work very interesting and also extremely necessary.
I think it's very important. There's so many businesses right now that are successful, but you can always be more successful. There's so much opportunity in social media right now. It's free, but with that exposure, there's so much opportunity out there that businesses aren't taking a opportunity of, and it's sad to see. And we're there to help businesses grow through social media most often because there's so much happening, and I don't know why you wouldn't want to grow your business that way, right? So we're
Right.
there to kind of help support businesses in that direction.
Exactly. So I know that you've built your business from the ground up and you're working with a lot of growing businesses now. At this stage, what does the business actually demand from you day to day that people just don't see?
So at this point, I'm really trying to not work in the business, but on the business. And that's obviously taking some adjustments on my part because I'm so used to working in the day to day and on the creative specifically. And not to say that I have no creative direction on it, but I'm really relying more and putting more trust in the team to be able to do what they do best and find processes and systems where the team is self-sufficient in a way where they know exactly what they need to do. I could check in and have touch points, but everything is visible throughout every step and process. So everyone's working like a well-oiled machine. And that's currently my job, is figuring out how we can make it work perfectly.
So how does that impact you personally, now being more involved in the day-to-day of the not the day-to-day, but the operations of the business, as opposed to and taking a step back from the creative side of the business? Um, I imagine that that would impact your life in terms of your time, your energy, and even what you have to do outside of the business?
I mean, I'm the type of person who works a lot. A workaholic, I guess you could call it. But my time has been my energy has been put into this business the same at the beginning as it has now. It hasn't changed.
Mm-hmm.
More so, I just need to again my I struggle with wanting everything to be too perfect, and I have to understand that at the end of the day, we just need to find ways to work together to be able to get the product I need, because the only reason you're not going to be satisfied with the end result is because there's something else missing.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time that's direction. So in the creative space, especially for video and photography, it's very important to make sure messaging is clear, because without that, you could take things in a million different directions, right? And again, it's a creative space. So systemizing that type of work is difficult in a sense, because it's like, how do you control creative thoughts? So we've been constantly working on this is a passion. It started as a passion of mine. So I don't want to necessarily remove myself from the day to day. It's a necessity, but I understand that I need to act as a business owner, not a photographer or videographer necessarily. So that's where I'm still grateful for being able to work in an industry where I'm able to be creative,
Yeah.
but understand that my role right now is bigger vision and understanding the operations of the business and making sure the team has the right tools in place to be able to collectively create a product that we're all proud of. And that's helping the businesses that we work with.
Yeah. And when did you feel your business start to move from momentum to real stability? Was there a moment as your business started to grow that you realized that the business was here to stay, and then did that prompt you having to take a step back and be more operations oriented as opposed to creatively driven?
So from the very beginning, I just dove into this business. It was something where I said, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to go all in. So one of the very first things that I did with the business was completely wrap my truck in all the branding. So website, phone number, what we do. Like there's no hiding from this truck.
Yeah.
And I did that on purpose, even though it didn't make sense. Like you don't get that much advertising value out of a wrapped vehicle, but I did it. So I motivated myself to make this business work.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, if I'm going to do it, let's go all in. So that was one of the first investments I ever did, even though it might have not made fully sense. But I wanted to put myself in the right mindset to make sure this doesn't fail. And I eventually, obviously, at the beginning, I was working myself. I was also learning the industry and learning new tools before I could even teach it to a team. But over time, again, I'm the type of person who is going to invest heavily in the business with every dollar I make, as opposed to taking that as my personal income. Like
Mm-hmm.
I understood and I was mentally prepared that for the first 3 to 5 years, I'm going to be making I'm going to be taking home minimal amounts from the business, because I want to reinvest everything to grow this to a point where it's self-sustainable. So I moved out to an office. That was one of the first decisions, in order to be able to grow a team with me, because I wasn't going to be able to do that from home. So again, got the truck, got the office, moved out, and then I started hiring almost immediately. And I'd rather pay someone else to help me grow the business as opposed to paying myself, because I knew at the end of the day, I want to build something bigger than just myself. So over the first few years, it was just reinvesting everything and looking towards the bigger picture. And I think a lot of people, again, there's a million different ways to grow a business essentially, but my vision, I knew this wasn't going to fail, and that was a mindset I had to go into this in order to make it successful.
Yeah. I think as a business owner, especially when you're starting out, even as a solopreneur, you have to already have in your mind that this is the direction that I'm going, this is gonna work, and I'm
Mhm.
just going like full speed ahead. Without it, then you can easily um, get distracted by like the shiny thing syndrome, right? The next thing that comes to your mind or just comes across your table, you're just blown with the wind with that thing, and you never make it anywhere. You're just spinning your wheels.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
so although that was a bit risky at the beginning, I mean, just your drive and determination to make what you had in front of you or make this idea work, I think was important, and it shows in the way that your business has continued to progress. Would you say
Absolutely.
so?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Amazing. And with the business growing, I know you said that at the beginning you were taking everything and reinvesting heavily back into the business. Right now, would you still say that you're in an aggressive growth mode, or are you more stable?
I would say a little more stable, but still pretty aggressive in what we're trying to invest in. But from a different perspective, at the beginning, like in the media space, cameras and computers, equipment isn't cheap. So
Yeah.
I think we've gotten to the point where we have the necessities to operate what on the projects that we're involved in. And now we're heavily investing in systems, operations, programs, apps to cohesively glue our team together. And that again is a different type of investment because now we're looking at bringing in specialists and operators who can help us systemize things for the team to be able to have full transparency on every step of the process.
That makes sense. And um, how long do you think that between when you started and where you are now, how long did it take you to get to the point where you decided that you needed to incorporate your business and you needed to make a shift from uh, small business to serious business?
A few years in, 4 years in actually, but it we did that because we A want to avoid risk, but B we we believe in collaborations quite heavily. So we've been working with a handful of different business partners, and that just allowed us to be more creative with how we organize certain structures to be able to make things work.
hmm I know you mentioned about partnerships and uh, expanding in that way. Could
Mhm.
you share a little bit about how that helped you to grow your business?
We are in a great position because we create media for all our clients.
Mhm.
So on our end, it's very easy to create shareable content on our pages, our social media pages, YouTube, and everything else. So we have a lot of content to post, but rarely do we post any of our own work. I think that's a super typical situation with media and marketing agencies where
Mhm.
they're always doing so much client work, but rarely do they do it for themselves.
Yeah.
Whereas we've been very conscious of that and trying to invest our time into making sure whatever trends we see that we're working on for client work, we also do it for ourselves.
hmm
And the biggest thing there is just making sure you have enough time to do that. And that comes in a few different ways. So collaborating, I'm never afraid to collaborate on posts. People are often very like, oh, this is mine. This is mine. But we're like, it's all of ours. Put it out in the world.
Right.
Collaborate with as many people as you possibly can. We even look for opportunities on content with, oh, that's who we should collaborate. And then think about the content that we're going to create specifically to work together with on both sides so it gives value to everybody. And we can cross pollinate audiences that way. And I think that's the fastest way to grow on social media, and people are not taking advantage of that.
Exactly. I mean, even with this podcast, before I went down this road, I had been primarily just text and just giving a little bit like lessons and tools that you can use and just some
Mhm.
snappy takeaways. And it did well for some time, but I felt that in order to really expand in the business that we needed to see more video content, or that the audience needed to see more video content. And I wasn't exactly sure how to do that. Just with the talking head post, it just wasn't comfortable for me.
Yeah.
So I thought that if I could still do the video posts and maybe include my team and be able to include other people, that not only would it be more engaging, but that it would help me to care a little bit less about what people are thinking about me when
Yeah.
I go to promote
Everyone,
stuff out
every
there.
single person goes through that struggle, no matter if you're starting your own personal brand or if it's a business we're going to and we're involving, the CEO or employees within the business. Everyone has the same thought, and it comes down to the same thing. Just shoot content, get over it. We're
Yeah,
here to help guide you, make sure you look good, but you just got to put in the reps. The more you do it, the easier it becomes, and that's all it is. As soon as you start posting, the ball will get rolling and you'll get better as things progress. But the most important thing is having video content, because photos and doesn't get the branding across as well as video. Video is king. You can literally explain everything about your business, who you are, what you do, why people should trust you. People connect with people. So showcasing people within your organization is the best way to do it.
yeah. Yeah. So I want to get a little bit more into the financial side. I know that we spoke about this a little bit already, but I wanted to understand what are the main drivers for you when you consider as a business grows, when you consider what you're going to take out, what you're going to leave in. I know that there are other things that come into play, like the salaries that you have to pay, all of your expenses. But after those things have been taken care of, how do you decide? This is what I'm going to use specifically for my business, and this is what I'm going to leave in for a rainy day.
So I'm the type of person who thinks high risk, high reward. I'm not going to risk the whole business, but
Yeah.
I am going to spend a lot of money on getting new technology, new equipment, courses, building a space where people, like employees, staff, want to be in order to cultivate a culture and team that are wanting to be in a space. A lot of people work from home now and are leisurely, but I find a lot of people come to work because they want to be here, because we have an atmosphere and space that is creative.
Right.
And my whole mindset has been from the beginning, like, let's invest. And every year we've been doubling our revenue every single year. So I'm in a place where it's like, let's just keep growing this. What we're doing is working. And eventually we're going to find efficiencies that we can work on. So right now we're at the stage where it's like, we're able to play with the numbers a little bit. So we're looking at we've built systems where we could track metrics and see what we're doing on each project and what we could refine to start saving money. And that's where we're at right now, is like, okay, we've spent all this money, we've made this money, where can we start saving?
Yeah.
And that's what we're working on.
But doesn't it become business? I'm sorry. Doesn't it become expensive, like for like tax heavy, when you pull out everything from your business, even though you are reinvesting it back into income generating activities? I would imagine that the tax on that would be pretty high at this stage.
All business expenses. You can get creative.
Okay.
A lot of our investment, I'm, like I said, like my salary, I've taken less salary than any staff at the business over the past 6 years, because I've just been spending it back on the business.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So what does financial security look like to you, uh, both personally and within your business?
To me, it's more so being able to support the team, because we've built people who believe in what we're doing. They're helping grow this business. They're integral to what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I see stability as being able to hold the team, be able to have them here and have them continue wanting to be part of the team. That's stability to me. Because if we have our family who's helping us do what we're doing, that's all I ask for.
Yeah. And I know you answered this for me before, but in terms of long-term planning and what your long-term game plan looks like for your business, is there a timeline in your head for when things may look different?
Yeah, every year has been drastically different. There's been no year that's been the same. We've been moving quickly, and I think it's difficult to predict where this is going, but we're just in the mindset of go, go, go,
Mm-hmm.
build. And we're just trying to, at this stage, again, this year has been the biggest year where we've been focusing on how do I not have to be on site at the office or studio every single day? How can we let the system operate itself with everybody having full transparency to knowing what's going on so it could run itself? And that's, I think, the biggest struggle of any business.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really what we're trying to solve. That way we have a business, not a job.
Yeah, for sure. I did mention that that's something that definitely sits at the forefront of my mind, especially with my team. It's growing now every day, and I'm just when I spend time with them, I'm grateful that I have them, but I also need to relinquish some of the control as opposed to micromanaging every aspect of the business. And I think that's something that
Exactly.
most business owners
Yeah.
uh, at least they struggle with at one point or another when they're trying to
Mhm.
make that transition
Mhm.
uh, in their business. But for the people who are out there and listening, can you give them some advice as to what they should be focused on in their growth phase if they're going to scale it past small business to serious business?
Build out your SOPs as soon as possible. As soon as you're doing something and you find a way process of doing it, write it down, document everything you do. That way when you have staff that are going to take over that role, they could reference the documents. You can easily use AI. AI is a massive topic now, and we've been also investing heavily into AI to figure out how we could systemize certain things and
Mhm.
automate certain parts of our business that relieves my day-to-day small mundane tasks. I think a lot of businesses make the mistake of creating a client experience with AI, like call centers where it's like AI picking up and it's like, oh my God, I can't even
Yeah.
talk to a real human. That's a terrible client experience. You should
Yeah.
be leveraging AI to automate the things that no one should be doing, right? All
Yeah.
the boring tasks. So automate AI, SOPs. AI can take those SOPs and create training documents and everything. So your team isn't asking you questions on all these little things, micromanaging. They could just find it themselves and be self-sufficient.
Yeah, for sure. And for anyone out there who's listening, can you please give them your socials so they know exactly where to find you and they know what to find you for?
At PM Creative Studios across all socials, pmcreativestudios.com. We're very active on social media. We respond to every message, comment. So if you're looking to connect, reach out to us and we'll get back to you.
Amazing. Thank you so much for being here with us today. And thank you so much for sharing so openly about the capital and positioning and even about your own business and how you are growing within the space. So I'm
Thanks for,
very grateful
yeah,
to have had you today.
thanks for connecting.
That's it for this episode of Stealth Audio. Real conversations with people building things most others only talk about. If you'd like to share your story on the show, or you're ready to build your own Stealth 30 system, you can apply for either at growingwithdiana.com/stealth30.